So after I made a video talking about Kaguya's death, people really struggled to believe that she was actually dead, right? And the reason for that is because it was stated that she is immortal. But if you actually look at what has happened to her, her immortality actually doesn't mean anything. What does immortality mean to people who can actually use magic to kill you in the first place? Like, all they have to do is just use the magic and then you are gone, right? So instead of magic, they are using jutsus and all kinds of other techniques in order to get off people with immortality. So let me explain exactly what I meant in the video. So at the start, people thought, okay, she's immortal, so that means she cannot die. But we do not know what type of immortality Kaguya has. Maybe it is a biological immortality, meaning she cannot die of old age, right? And that is most likely because she has become one with the Jubi, right? With the tree which lives on forever and keeps absorbing chakra from the planet, which means she technically can absorb chakra from the planet and do the tree's job, keeping her alive for the rest of eternity. Or maybe it is because the regeneration ability of which the Jubi gives you allows you to stay immortal for the rest of your life, which actually does make sense. However, Kaguya, believe it or not, can still die even though she is immortal, and it has been done to her twice. In the data book, it states that Otsutsuki travel from dimension to dimension in order to harvest chakra fruits from trees in order to extend their lifeline. Now, people actually believe that this only applies to Momoshiki and Kinshiki, which does not make sense since it did not say Momoshiki and Kinshiki travel from dimension to dimension to eat chakra fruits to extend their lifeline. No, it said it for all the other Otsutsuki and all the superiors, which are Momoshiki, Kinshiki, and even Kaguya. They were the superiors of the clan, or at least it was stated in the data books that they were the only superiors, or at least that is what we know of, right? So the rule applies to them as well as all the other Otsutsukis, which may still be out there. And there's a video which I'm going to make, which actually, has a theory in it, considering that the Otsutsuki clan may be still alive out there somewhere. But my main point is these Otsutsukis are not born immortal. They can still die, hence why Momoshiki was killed and Kinshiki were also killed. Okay, Kaguya actually fused with the Shinju tree, which allows you to regenerate. Momoshiki and Kinshiki cannot regenerate. Okay, we've never seen them regenerate in any sort of way. Kinshiki was bleeding out as a motherfucker, and this motherfucker did not regenerate, meaning he does not have the power to regenerate. However, Kaguya merged herself with the tree, which gives her the power of regeneration, because the Jinchuriki of the Jubi can regenerate themselves. It is an ability which comes with the tree, thus making her immortal, and at least that is what I believe her immortality is based on. Now, just because she is immortal, right, does not mean they cannot kill her, because guess what? These people cannot kill her with physical means, but if you have sealing jutsus and all that kind of stuff, you can kill her, okay? And this has been done twice, as I mentioned. The first time is when Hagoromo actually split her into the Gedomazo and 9 different pieces. So the Gedomazo is there, and then these other tail beast, or these other pieces of chakra which were split from out of Kaguya, actually killed her and split her into 9 different beings with their own personalities. If they still had Kaguya's will and personality, then you could say, yeah, that means Kaguya is still alive from within them, which could be the case. However, these are 9 separate beings with their own personalities and live different lives, meaning that, these are not Kaguya, these are separate people, meaning that Kaguya is no longer there. She's died because she has been split into 9 separate things. And the Gedomazo actually was sealed within the moon, and we can see it. There was an image there of the Gedomazo sealed within the moon, and Kaguya was nowhere to be seen within there, meaning she has died. They killed her by splitting her into different pieces. Let me give you an example. There was an Egyptian god who got killed by another god and split into pieces. These pieces individually were not the god, and the god was dead, but only if these pieces were put together did then the god who died and who was split into pieces come back to life. You know what I'm saying? Individually, they do not come back to life. And then Naruto's purposes, right? These pieces were the tail beast and the Gedomazo. The tail beast had personalities of their own, and unless they came together, Kaguya is dead and split into pieces. The second time this happened is when she was revived, and Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke combined their team synergy in order to see heal her again, thus turning her into the Gedomazo and splitting the tail beast from the Gedomazo again, thus killing her, right? And you know, Kaguya was revived because Black Zetsu said revived, you know what I'm saying? Meaning she came back from the dead. And it is very evident that she came back to life because she required a body in order to come back to life. What I think happened is after she absorbed the tree, she kind of became mindless, because if you think about it, she did merge herself with the tree, and then the tree actually turned it into the Jubi, right, which is Kaguya. So the Jubi technically is Kaguya and the tree. The tree is not alive, but Kaguya is, and the reason why the Jubi is alive is because it has Kaguya's conscience. So if you think about it, if Obito and Madara were not controlling the Jubi, whatever the Jubi would do is actually what Kaguya is doing. So Kaguya is the tree. However, in order to attain her human form, I think she needs a body, and that is why she required Madara in order to return back to, you know, her human looking form. In order to revive someone, you actually need some kind of sample DNA, or, you know, you need to know how to revive these certain people, and Black Zetsu was the only one who actually knew how to revive Kaguya, because, you know, he came from Kaguya. He is Kaguya's will, and because of that, he was able to revive Kaguya by, you know, following the instructions, or at least he knew how to do it. And the thing is, the question from the previous video was, can Kaguya come back to life? And my answer is no, not unless, you know, Black Zetsu actually goes out there and starts this whole cycle of hatred again. But guess what? When Kaguya was sealed by Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura, well, Naruto and Sasuke, because they had the seals, right? He was actually trapped within the dimension in which Kaguya was sealed. Remember, she was not sealed on Earth. She was no longer in the moon. The Gedomazo is no longer in the moon. It is in another dimension, in another planet, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, Black Zetsu was sealed with Kaguya, meaning that he cannot go anywhere, and because it is in another dimension, no one can access that dimension unless you have the power to open dimensions and go in there. No one else can access that dimension, and it is also very hard to find a dimension if you do not know its exact location. Okay, I doubt Sasuke knows the exact location, but if he does keep tampering with the Rinnegan, he might be able to find the location. And the question is, even if he does and he goes there, what is in there for him to actually go there? You know what I'm saying? And if he does, right, he will not find Black Zetsu, because guess what? The entire planet has been turned into a big chibaku tensei to seal both Black Zetsu and Kaguya, meaning that he's just going to be standing there and he won't even have access to Black Zetsu and Kaguya because they are sealed within the core of this planet, right? The only thing Sasuke can do is to summon the Gedomazo from that dimension onto Earth, which requires a lot of chakra, and then he can actually suck the tail beast inside of the Gedomazo, then give himself to that Jubi, which will then be revived, and then will Kaguya be revived. But unless that is done, it is not gonna happen, and I don't think Sasuke is gonna go into that dimension to even look for Kaguya in the first place, because she has nothing to do with him. She has nothing there for him. There is nothing in it for him, and also Kaguya is sealed within another dimension, and the tail beasts are in another dimension. So if you do not have powers to cross dimensions in order to combine these two requirements, Kaguya is just dead. She is just dead. She's neither alive, she's just been split into pieces. That is how you get rid of someone who is immortal. And secondly, if she was really that immortal, then she wouldn't really be scared of Kinshiki and Momoshiki. But the fact is, she was scared, and the reason for that is because even though she is immortal, they can still kill her regardless of the situation, because all Momoshiki has to do is just raise his palm. Kinshiki just restrains her, which will be difficult since she is really powerful, but all Momoshiki has to do is just to turn her into a fruit and eat her, and she is dead. You know what I'm saying? Her immortality does not mean much to people who actually have powers which can actually render you useless even though you are immortal. I mean, if you are fighting regular ninja with regular weapons, then yeah, your immortality means something. But if you are fighting people with freaking magical powers to turn people into freaking fruit, then yeah, if you're immortal, you get turned into a fruit, you are dead. Okay, that is how I make sense of it, and I'm about to give you some facts for the people who actually bother to listen to what I have to say till the end of the video. And these facts come from Ukyo Kodachi, who is in charge of Boruto, the anime and the manga. He's the one who writes it, and the facts coming from Kishimoto himself. So from Kishimoto, he is the one who designed these characters for the movie as well as wrote their bios, and in the bios of Momoshiki and Kinshiki, he does state that Kaguya is dead, and people actually said that this might be a misinterpretation, which I think, okay, the second proof, you know, cancels this out. Okay, it's actually debunks this, and this comes from Ukyo Kodachi, who actually wrote the light novel for Boruto Naruto the movie, and inside the novel it actually says Kaguya had died. In this world, there wasn't such a thing as immortality. So it kind of confirms a few things. It kind of confirms that Kaguya's immortality was actually probably a biological immortality, meaning she can regenerate, but you can still kill her. You know what I'm saying? All Momoshiki has to do is just raise his palm and turn her into a fruit. And Kaguya even knew that these people were a threat, hence why she was still afraid and started raising an army, because if she wasn't afraid, she would not be doing that. And, you know, that explains why she was afraid, because they can still kill her. And the fact that you need all these pieces, which is the Gedomazo and these 9-tailed beasts, to gather together, as well as have a living vessel in order for her to attain her humanoid form, that means that she is dead and not alive, because she is not alive. You know what I'm saying? These two facts that I just stated right here prove that Kaguya is just dead. Have a look at why it is impossible for Sasuke to revive the Uchiha clan, as well as 6 things I don't want to see in Boruto and Kinshiki possibly having a Rinnegan. That being said, that has been my video debunking the fact that she is still alive, and I hope you really enjoyed it. With that being said, I have nothing more to say. Bye.